Welcome to the show. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Ashley Turing. He's CEO of Livetree, which is a network of decentralized collectives that's bringing about positive social change. So, Ashley, you are taking on a mammoth task, and we are delighted that you are developing this product and this platform for us to use in the future. So, can you explain to us to start with where your experience and what led you here today?
Sure. So my background is computer science. Born in London, moved over to Seattle. Started with a company called Nullsoft, the founders from Nullsoft, and we launched a product called Winamp. And I guess the key takeaway there was community development, building software open source, and we got a lot of traction that way. I moved over back to Europe and then started a gaming company. Really learned about how to build tools rather than solutions. So instead of going down an Amazon model, think about Shopify, building creator tools, and then worked for the banks and did a bunch of surveillance type technologies, trying to catch traders, really, compromising and manipulating the markets. And got exposed to a technology called Hadoop, which the open source version of Google. So, using big data, from voice, from emails, from the time they checked in, and correlating that to how the markets operated. And I saw a lot of similarities between that and how the social networks work. When you upload a video, let's say to TikTok, there's a lot of surveillance technologies that are in there. And these social networks really compromise user data for their benefit. So we started off as a crowdfunding platform and have adopted Web3 technologies really to move us away from those Web2, I call them Web2, but the Facebooks, the TikToks of the world, into something where we have more transparency over our data and more control.
I love that. So that brings us nicely to Livetree and your objectives there. And what is Livetree? If you can give us a step by step, what is the platform and what are your objectives with platform?
So Livetree is very easy to use. The app is available to download now. It's iOS and Android. And you can think of it as a better version of TikTok. So it's super easy to use. But it really gives us an onboarding for creators and for all of us to start tapping into Web3. And what I mean by that is having transparency over how your data, how your posts make money, and being able to control that collectively together with all of your members of your collective, not using a centralized technology, but using a decentralized technology. And likewise, Livetree as a non-profit is set up so it is a collective as well, and the members can vote and decide how things like censorship works, how the money from the platform should be used. So that's really the purpose of Livetree is to provide an easy way for creators to tap into new revenue streams facilitated by Web3, but also maintain their existing revenue streams.
It makes a lot of sense. And, I think about when I use social media platforms today and the lack of transparency and the lack of control you have over who sees your information. So you kind of vulnerable, you feel vulnerable putting your information out there anyway. Everyone does if you put information or personal information or a video that you've just created, there's always kind of that, oh God, I'm putting it out there. But to not have that transparency in who's seeing it and how you can monetize it or how you can use it as the user, I think that's game changing for social networking in general. So can you explain the term collective, because it's mentioned a few times in when I read about Livetree when we spoke previously, and now we're talking about it again. So that collective is very powerful, like idea of the collective. Can you explain it for our watchers and our listeners?
You can really think about a collective as a new structure for creators. It enables creators to come together with their members and collaborate on what to do with their earnings. So you can really think about it as a structure that has membership coins, and you can somewhat think about those as like shares, right? So you now have these coins that tie directly into the earning potential of a creator. So a creator earns through, let's say, pay-per-view videos. Let's say like you have a musician and you have a live gig, you have tickets for that. You also have rewards, so like donations, maybe you create a post and someone donates or tips that. So it's taking all of those revenue streams from Web 2.0, but also adding some additional revenue streams, such as the sale of these membership coins and the sale of NFTs. So NFTs you can really think about as like patents, if you like, or like for your structure, for your collective. These this valuable intellectual property you can register. So whether that be a viral video or a piece of art, register that, and that gives you new earning capabilities. The ability to sell that or to loan it to another person. So that's what a collective is. And there are 1 million of these collective membership coins. The membership coins can be traded as well. So not only as a member of the collective do you get discounts, to events, discounts on tickets, exclusive events, member-only events, but you also get something in return. So you get a stake in that treasury, and you also can trade those membership coins.
That's amazing. I'm just thinking of it from my personal, because I think when you think of it personally, you can kind of really understand it. And any creator out there, like I consider myself as a writer, I'm a creator.
Mm.
So if I can using your tools, using Livetree and using tools of Web3 to monetize and have more transparency again over the content and what's happening with that content, I think it's game changing, and it's going to play a pivotal role in the future of how we engage online. So just to circle back a little bit, can we describe why? Because I think about TikTok and my brother's on TikTok. He's 15, lives on TikTok, and Snapchat and Instagram and all of these places. Why is it that our relationship with them is quite broken, and it's clear that there is a kind of a hierarchy of control there, and they control who sees what, etc. Why is it broken, and is what should we be moving towards? What is the vision, the longer term vision for our social future online?
I think it really boils down to trace the money. So if you think about how TikTok or Instagram earns money right now through advertising and or selling your data in an opaque type form. So that's how they make money, right? And their goal is to get you addicted to click on their ads, right? That's their business model. So really, the fundamental shift that we're moving away from is thinking about how other ways can you monetize your posts and making that transparent. So Livetree doesn't support advertising. We are non-advertising. We don't plan on supporting advertising unless the community brings that forward. The real ways that you can earn, pay-per-view. So making a post pay-per-view, maybe that's a song. Maybe you're a musician and you song that you want people to pay for every time they listen to it, you can do that. Or perhaps you are an educator and you have a masterclass and you want to charge for people to look at that. So the other ways to earn, from ticket sales, so live events, having member only. So if you're a band, having that ability to create a live stream which you can then make tickets for, is nowhere possible at the moment, right? And do that on Instagram, you can't do that on TikTok, you can only do that on Livetree. And taking it the next step further is, that money, some of it is a fee charged by Livetree. That's 50%, and 50% goes to the creator. And that creator has control over the network. So that 50% also is in control of all of the participants of the network. So I really think it's, where we're going from is a place whereabouts your data is manipulated and you are sold as a product to being in control of the most valuable thing we have, which is your creativity, your posts, and being able to monetize that transparently and control the resulting revenue democratically through a collective structure.
I love that whole purpose. You just give me your mission, but I love it. It's fantastic. And I think that I spoke at a conference 2 weeks ago, and it was kind of on similar lines, moving from the attention economy, where, these brands and these platforms are buying your attention, or you're buying someone else's attention because, as a creator, you need to build your following or build your traffic. So you're doing ads, advertising, so you're spending more money to get other people's attention. To a more free-flowing, all-inclusive creator economy, where you put in the creator first, and then the creator decides, I've created something amazing. This is how I'm going to use it, and you might only have two people that want to buy it, or two people that want to participate in your pay-per-view or whatever. But that's still two people, rather than you paying for the advertising to get those two people in to buy it. So it's completely changing the whole scene, which is amazing. I was curious that with Livetree, it was very easy to use. So the user experience and keeping it very user friendly was very important to you. Can you explain the reasons behind that? I know there's a lot of platforms out there, Web3 platforms, that are focused on UX at the moment and UI. And there's obviously reasons for that. We need to make it easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that Web3 as an industry needs to recognize is the clear difference between painkillers and vitamins. Okay, so let me explain that. So a painkiller is you've got a headache and you need to take a painkiller to solve that headache, right? A vitamin is something that you take and it may or may not work, right? And I think in the Web3 world, we have been focused, there's a lot of vitamins, right, that are very cool technical solutions, and they're very geeky, but they're not the painkiller that creators need. So creators are really there to connect with their members in a new way. So going away from fans to having members and being able to earn more, right? So how can Web3 facilitate creators to earn more, right? And so once you start realizing that the collective is a way for creators to earn more and to control the entire social network, there is an aha moment. There's a joy. There is a feeling of like, wow, like now just being able to earn more, but I also can help decide what is going on with the network that I'm publishing on, right? So I think, UX is really key to adoption. Mm-hmm. And, in terms of most people, and we really need to start moving away from this idea that Web3 is the solution, right? Web3 offers a range of possibilities, and those possibilities need to address a particular pain for creators, right? And that pain should not be how do I get, how do I hardware wallets, and how do I understand what all of these intricacies of blockchain. Blockchain is there to provide a service, right? It's a technology, it's a tool that should be used. And the way that we have used it is to help creators earn more and help creators control the platform that they're publishing on. So I think, you know, UX was very key for us in terms of and user design, in that we're looking to get mass adoption. And most people don't know and don't care about blockchain, and they shouldn't need to, right?
Hmm.
If you've got particular members that have nothing to, you know, my mom uses Livetree, right? And, you know, my niece and nephew don't need to know anything about blockchain, but it's there, and they can get into that once they start earning more money and once they start wanting to have that, actually start controlling this platform. But it shouldn't be a mandatory, you know, the way that we designed it is that we shouldn't be, it shouldn't be mandatory for you to understand all of these complex, you know, systems and what blockchain is, just to use the app.
Yeah, I love that as well. And I think the more simpler the platform, the better. You know, the easier the platform, the better. You access it on your phone, and it's often, you know, you're often restricted for time when you're on your phone. You might have a
Exactly.
few minutes to do something. So how can you digest a complex wallet, you know, login situation if you only have a few minutes to do that task, or to put up a piece of writing, for example. So if as a creator, if someone was to go onto the platform today, what can they do there? What does it look like for them?
Well, it's as easy to use as TikTok. As I mentioned, you can create pay-per-view videos, so you can record videos, you can make them pay-per-view. You can have live events, and make those ticketed only. You can also have rewards during those live events or for your recorded content. So those rewards are tips. They could be in the form of digital hearts. We have like a ton of really cool, you know, emojis and really interesting gifts that you can give people. Uh, as you go into that, you can start getting into membership and offering your members discounts, and building up your, connecting with your followers and turning them into, um, which can participate in a completely new democratic way in this collective structure. You can really think about your collective as just being an extension of your profile. Um, it's, you know, it's very easy to use. You don't need to understand all of these complex blockchain terminologies. Um, you know, so the key was to facilitate creators to really take control of the platform. And
That's amazing. And it's you actually pinpointed one of the reasons why I loved Web3 and blockchain, the industry as a whole, when I came in 2 years ago. From being in Web2 technology companies and startups, etc., there was always a very clear distinction in roles. You know, where you're positioned within a company, or where, you know, where you are in the hierarchy of the company. And I think Web3 has kind of pivoted that, because often the team and the founders and the CEO, and even, they're all members of the same community. They're all, you know, part of the same, if we were using your terms, the collective, and have some kind of value, or want for that collective to do well and make positive change. And that brings me to the point that you're very passionate about sustainability, and so is Unique Network, friends of ours. And I think it's a cause worth talking about, and it's something that is close to home for me as well. So can you tell us why considering sustainability is important for you and your platform as well?
so Livetree as a social network, it provides a range of tools. And one of the most interesting tools is the hashtag. So when you think about the power of hashtag Black Lives Matter or hashtag Save the Oceans, you know, those hashtags have incredible value to us as a society, as a global nation. And so what we enabled creators to do when they create their collective, they have a unique hashtag, and that are tagged with that hashtag earns their money. So let me explain. So, for example, my niece, she loves doing little dances and things like that. She's very passionate about protecting the oceans. She can tag her dance with say hashtag save the oceans, and my auntie could come along, tip or give her a donation, and that money would go to the collective Save the Oceans. So there's an incredible way to bring about supporters for particular, whether it be climate change, global inequality, or just creative freedom, whatever that might be. There is an incredibly powerful mechanism in Livetree to build a collective difference, to fill the gap where the governments have really started to fail us, and institutions have started to fail us. Taking a step back, Livetree as a non-profit, not owned by shareholders, it's not controlled by me or anyone. It is as well a collective, and the income it makes goes into a treasury that everyone can manage and everyone can decide democratically what to do with. So in its initial deployment, we have 25% of the revenue of the entire Livetree network going to offset the carbon footprint of the network. So that's happening through Moss, right, Moss Earth. However, the community can change that. They can change how that money is allocated. So, for example, they could, say, okay, let's focus on clean air, or whatever side. So, if you think about the income that makes and being able to democratically decide how to use that, I think it's incredibly powerful to move forward a number of issues globally that we are facing, that where deficiencies in governments or organizations or NGOs really need some help.
Yeah, wow, that's definitely an advanced way to use the hashtag that we're so familiar with. Everyone is quite familiar with in the world now. And this is kind of a brand new way of using it for social good. I think it's very admirable. I'm just circling around to the NFT technology that you're using and the advanced capabilities that are being built into the system. I mean, for me, when I think about dynamic NFTs or NFTs that can change over time or different ways of using my current NFTs, the ones that are stored in my wallet, it definitely gets me excited for the future. So how, I know I'm going back to our friends at Unique Network for this, but how are you going to partner with them? What that partnership has just been announced. So if we can go into that a little bit, would be great.
Yeah, sure. So NFTs are the way that we view the collective is, and you can again think about your miniature company and your membership coins, like let's say shares that are votable. Let's now say that your company, your collective. So, for example, they might be a property. It might be like a famous piece of artwork. It might be, a song. And within the app, you have the ability to convert any post, including a video or piece of music or text, or a twig, which is our version of twigs, to an NFT. And that is really that the registration of NFTs is really saying this is my IP. This is a registration of my IP. And by registering it, you then have the ability to sell it. So, and it becomes something that, again, is monetizable and is another income stream for creators.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to how I'm going to use that myself. I need to take it on board and see how I'll mint some NFTs on Livetree. From me, that's I think we've got a really nice conversation here, and I look forward to sharing Livetree, sharing your vision for the future. I think you've taken on the challenge that many would be afraid to take on today, and many know is broken. So it's a really valuable mission that you're on, and I'm happy to help. And I hope we have you on the show again every year to give us updates on how things are going and how you're building the creator economy and supporting the likes of us. So thank you, Ashley, for being here today. Can you tell us where we can find out more about Livetree and get involved?
Yeah, I mean, just download the app, visit livetree.com, build your own collective. It's completely free. And it's super easy to use. So yeah, just visit livetree.com, install the app. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.